our children. They are unruly. They become notorious in their generation. The name of God will be blasphemy among unbelievers. Hi everyone, you are welcome back to my channel. I want to say thanks for joining me in this place once again. If you are new in my page, my name is Oluwadamilola Matthew, and in this place, you wake up smiling, you feel no hands, and your bondage will be removed. How can our next generation survive? Jeremiah 30 verse 7 says, "Alas, for the day is great, so that none will be like it. It will be like the days of Jacob trouble." What is the day of Jacob trouble? Jacob spent all his years in lies. He spent 20 years in his father-in-law's house. 14 years. He spent it because he's in love with Rachel, with frustration. He used lies to take the birthright that does not belong to him from his father. Likewise, he thinks that he can do his father-in-law by telling him, "I don't know who you gave to me to sleep with. The person is not the one I'm in love with." So what God is telling us that this generation, it is like days of Jacob trouble that is full of frustration. And as you can see in all the world now, being truth, it has been a crime in the world. People celebrate now what is not godly. When they interview Sheikh of this land, the king of this land, like, what do you think about the next generation? The man said, as you can see, that our forefather, they pay a great sacrifice. Likewise, our generation, we have paid a great sacrifice to maintain what our forefathers have given to us. Our fathers start from riding of horse, and we are riding Bugatti, Lamborghini. But for the next generation, I think they are going back to ride a horse. They ask him, "Why do you say that the next generation are going back to us?" He said, "The present generation, they are not ready to pay the sacrifice. They want life that has no risk." When you see a young man in early 20 walk up to you that, "I need this thing," ask the man, "Why do you need it?" He will simply tell you, "Don't you know I am a local?" In the life of Kali, we can see how someone can impact the life of others. A man who single-handed his housemaid by sponsor all his wedding arrangements, likewise empower the lady. For the next generation to survive, that means the present generation has a lot of impact. Home, religion, school, individual and society. We have our own impact. We have our own role to play if we want the next generation to survive. God's design for home is to be successful and not for any home to be a failure. Genesis chapter 2, 21 to 22. How God practically involved in created human being. He took the ribs of man and he brought out a lady to be his companion. Everything God created, he speaks to it and they come to existence. When we are talking about home, God practically involved in it. God so have interest in making our home to be a successful one. I am here to find a man or a woman that succeeded in their marriage but simply wake up after 50 years and say they have made it. Success is not a gift. It is not by chance or by luck. It is all about to be persist, endurance, be conscious of everything that we are doing. When they asked Mother Teresa, "What do you think is the solution to the world peace?" She said, Let everyone go back home and they love their family. Why? Because the success of the whole world, it is laid in the foundations of home. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 40. This memory verse warns every home that let everything that you are doing, let it be decent and be moderate. What is the consequences of bad marriage in our society? Don't forget that a single seed that a home produces, they can become a virus in our generation. A bad boy is the one that become a bad husband. And bad husband become the bad father. Bad father become the bad grandfather. If our children, they are unruly, they become a notorious in their generation. The name of God will be blasphemy among unbelievers. When your neighbor, they hear you and your husband always fighting, calling your children ungodly names, very sure it is going to affect their next generation. If you see a young man smoking and ask him, don't you see the label they attached to it? They will simply tell you that you should forget about it because their father is a smoker and he lived long. So for that reason, they have the sure assurance that it's not going to affect their health. You can see that a bad father is the one that produced another to our society. Take note of this. Don't allow the lack of your commitment, the success of your marriage. Don't allow it to affect the future of your children. Your children may be small now, but they are the future generation. Never underestimate the intelligence, wisdom and knowledge that God has given to your children, because they know everything that is going on in your home. I pray that you will leave a good legacy for your children to remember in their future. They asked a young man, are you a Christian and where are you coming from? He said, I'm coming from church. Why are you a Christian? I am a Christian because my parents, they are Christian. You may be thinking maybe the man is wrong. The answer is yes, and likewise it can be no. 80% of Christians of nowadays, it is because our parents, they are Christian. That is why we are Christian. If my parents, they are Muslim, I will not know anything about Christianity than Islam. And if my parents, they are practice magic, I will likewise practice it. I wonder why religion is causing conflict in our generation. I am here to see where God is written in his holy book. There is God of one particular religion. People go to church almost every day, but there is no change of heart. They fall under an anointing, but nothing change in their life. They only rise up to dust their clothes and go back to their home same. Romans 10:10 says, with heart man believe unto righteousness, and with our mouth we confess Jesus unto salvation. And where religion is mattering in our society, James 1:27 says, this is the religion God is expecting everyone to visit the fatherless and widow, and to live the life of unpolluted in our society. Why religion is matter? Number one, it strengthens family. It will help the church goer to be a married one. It also manifests the high level of satisfaction in marriage. Religion educates home so that their seed will be able to be a positive impact in their generation. We have marital stability and joy of hope. Church help the poor one to move out of poverty by changing their orientation. They help the young one and old to develop their skill so that they will not be a liability even though they were not employed in any organization. They also solve social problems like drugs, suicide, those that are born out of wedlock, how they can pick up their life again. Being a Christian, it will help you to have a good health and have a lesser killer disease. I was born in a culture which is not allow anyone to bypass you without say I. You must give the respect and honor to elders. Look at our generation. The young one are the one waiting for elders to greet them because they see it as elder responsibility. And to some elders, some of them also they are depressed. Have you ever walked up to anyone and say good morning? And the person is asking you, what do you think is good about this morning? If we all want the next generation to survive, we need to spend quality time and effort to grow our moral. Matthew 7 verse 12 says, whatsoever you want others to do for you, same thing you should do it for others. Individuals should respect everyone, regardless of their religion, their race, even regardless of their belief. Honesty is the best policy. It is being true to one another. In my last video, I talked about one of my friends that hardly you can hear the word of truth from him. The truth I want you to pick out from this story is that whatever God is against, it is just for your own benefit. As at this moment, this guy is wanted in this land because he has committed a crime. Whatever God is giving you warning not to do, it is not because of God's benefits. If God is saying don't steal, God does not have any money that you are going to steal. If he's telling us that we should have honesty, it is for our own integrity. Show companion. Let's also share whatever God has given to us. Satan is dwelling in the house of a greedy man. A person that receives everything but never give anything out. An example, we can see it in the life of Judas. When Judas saw the woman of alabaster oil, he was like, woman, why are you wasting this oil? Why are you using it to anoint Jesus? Why Judas is saying that? It's because he have the second option, how to sell the oil, keep the money, and use it for his own greedy lane. Also, don't forget to show gratitude. Never take anyone or anything for granted. And likewise, do good to others without expecting anything in return. School should please reward every good behavior instead of punishment, so that it can motivate others to be the best version of themselves. Brother Paul shows us an example of one family. In the book of 2 Timothy, her name is Louise. Louise was a grandmother of Timothy. Brother Paul highlights the good deed of this woman, how she passed it to her daughter, and her daughter passed it to Timothy. This is 3 generations of good work. I'm encouraging everyone, being an example of a firm and a lively faith. Be faithful to leave a tangible legacy of love. I wonder why we are hating each other. Maybe the person you hate, he or she does not even know you are existing in his world. And lastly, continue in what you have learned. 2 Timothy 3:15 says, from baby, I have known the Holy Scripture, which is able to make me wise unto salvation. From baby, you have known the Holy Scriptures, which is able to empower you to be wise unto salvation. What is the purpose of this program? There is 2 purposes for this program. First is to lift up the bondage of others. It is through art, through wounds, I brought light to the life of others. The main purpose is for you to make it to heaven. Do you believe that God did not make hell just because of you? Hell is being designed for Satan and his fallen angel. It is never meant for you. But anyone that is rebel against the standard of God, God has no option than to put them together with Satan in his kingdom, which is hellfire. What is the essence of you? You fight for everything in this life. You gather so much. But when you are living, you live with nothing. Accept Jesus Christ today. Tomorrow may be too late for you. I want you to take note of this. There is no one that has ever gone against the standard of God, that the whole world is not going against them. If you have been blessed with this message, I would like you to leave your comments, like, and also share it with others. Remain blessed. Hope to see you next week. Bye for now.